I'm Marge Robeson, registered dietitian with Basonic Partners.
And I'm Lewis, the cook at LCCAA Head Start.
I'm Melinda Gray, food service manager at LCCAA Head Start.
Welcome to our Out of the Box cooking series. This time we're featuring how to build a better breakfast. Lewis, are you a breakfast eater?
I definitely am.
Awesome. Melinda?
No, but I should be.
I would agree. As a registered dietitian, breakfast really is one of the most important meals of the day. And research shows that people who eat breakfast have a better control of their body weight, reduced risk of cardiovascular disease, and diabetes. And for kids who eat breakfast actually have better attention, memory. Studies show that they have better test scores, especially related to math and spelling. So breakfast really is a great way to start the day. Unfortunately, people often start the day with a breakfast that isn't always the most nutritious. So what kind of things are popular for breakfast? Sometimes sugary cereals, Pop-Tarts, granola bars that don't have maybe great nutritional value. So what I love about this Out of the Box series is we're focusing on breakfast, that most important meal of the day, but we're really showing simple, quick to prepare, nutrient-rich breakfasts that have protein and fiber in them. And a breakfast, or any meal really, that includes protein and fiber is going to help satiate you and keep you fueled better throughout the day. So we are going to be making an egg muffin recipe today. So what we're going to do is wash our hands and go ahead and get started. So we're all set. We've washed our produce that we're going to use and washed our hands, and we're going to get started making these egg muffins. And so one of the first things that you want to do is preheat your oven to 350 degrees. So we've already done that. And then Lewis is going to chop the vegetables that we're putting in our egg bites.
I will start off by preheating my pan and spraying it with a little bit of oil. And the first thing we're going to cut is our pepper. One easy way to do your peppers is to just pop the top, as easy as that. Then you can actually use your knife or your hand, whichever is easier for you. We're going to store this scraps. Shake some of that seed out. Cut that in half. We'll cut the ends off here, as so. And then you see these veins here. We'll want to cut some of that right off just to get an even work surface for you. Then cut it down to whatever's easier for you and to work with the pepper itself. And cut it into strips because we're going to be dicing these up.
Yeah, I would say for this recipe, you want a pretty tiny dice because it's going to be in a small egg bite. And for kids, a smaller dice is good.
So what you'll want to do is go down to a finer, and the smaller the strip, the smaller the dice will be. So we'll get something like this. What we'll do is you'll grab a workable and usable amount and then just slice through. And the closer you cut, just watching your fingers, you'll dice that right up. Right there. Start putting that right into the pan.
Nice. Maybe I'll come over here and saute that up. So I love this recipe again because not only does it have protein in it, with the eggs, a great way to start the morning, but it also has vegetables in it, which sometimes it's hard to get vegetables in at breakfast. As a dietitian, I always say you get bonus points if you can work some breakfast in, some vegetables into your breakfast. And this recipe does that. So That's great. And while we're using the peppers and onions, and we're gonna put some spinach in here in a bit, you also can use any vegetable. So if kids don't like peppers, I know my kids would be more amenable maybe to broccoli, so you could saute that. If you have some leftover vegetables, I think something like a zucchini might work well in here too, don't you? So part of the recipe also calls for bacon. So we actually already cooked the bacon and have that already cooked, as you can see. So we just cooked it, blotted off the oil, and I'm gonna go ahead and crumble that bacon into just small pieces as I'm watching this. I've also made these egg bites and used ham instead of bacon. So if you like ham or you have sausage, again, all of these recipes that we do are really designed to be flexible and customizable based on your preferences. So you get the box of ingredients that we provide. If you prefer something else, you can sub it out or make the recipe as you like the first time and then modify it a second time.
For your onion, the easiest way to dice it, technique that we'll use is we'll cut the end off but leaving the root on. That'll help hold everything together while you're dicing in this technique that I'm going to show you. So you'll cut the opposite end. We'll discard that. And also, while leaving the root, will help you peel this onion just by cutting it straight down through. Again, leaving that root on. You'll peel this back. And again, like I said, everything stays on with that root. And that's what we want. We'll just set this to the side. And I think that for this recipe, half an onion will do for now. What you want to do is give it 1 or 2, 3 cuts on the horizontal, as so. Not going all the way through to the root, almost to the end. Then you'll turn it around, give it lateral cuts. And again, this will let you know as wide as these cuts, that will give you the cut of the dice itself. So the closer, the smaller the dice will be. I'll show you that. So it should look something like this. A couple horizontal, a couple lateral. Then all you're going to do is go straight through. And again, the smaller, the better. And take your time with this, because it can be a little bit tricky for first timers. And it should look something like so.
It's a nice, fine, small dice.
All right, now we'll put
Yeah, I think the recipe says a small onion, a small pepper, depending on what size we get that goes into your box. You don't have to use the whole thing. Personally, I like a little onion flavor, but not too much. So I like you just went, I would say what, there's maybe 2 tablespoons, 3 tablespoons of onion there. Just heat up these vegetables and saute them.
Right, as our veggies are sauteing in the pan, we're going to get ready with all our other ingredients for the wet portion of it. We're going to start with our eggs.
So the recipe calls for 6 eggs. You will likely be getting in your box liquid eggs. So 1 egg is equal to 1/4 cup of liquid eggs. So for those 6 eggs, you would be using 1.5 cups, 1.5 cups of the liquid eggs that you would be getting.
So then we're going to add the paprika and the garlic. And I know we have measurements for the recipe, but I'm sure that
we've pre-measured here. So we're putting in, for some extra seasoning, the garlic and paprika, some salt and pepper. Nice.
Pepper.
And while Lewis is doing that, I'm going to spray the muffin tins. So if you don't have or you're getting muffin tins in your box, so that's great. You want to spray them pretty well because these do stick. So I'm just spraying each muffin tin with a bit of baking. So.
And I've added the milk to the mixture. And that'll bring the final here to all our ingredients. And when whisking, it's all in the wrist, not in the arm. It's all in the wrist.
Nice.
Whisk.
And I think since those vegetables are almost done, I might scoot over here and put the spinach. Spinach does not take very long, so our vegetables are pretty tender that I'm gonna add the spinach in there. And you know, spinach cooks pretty quickly and wilts down quickly, so we're just gonna give this a little bit more of a quick toss until that spinach cooks down.
Set our cheese. Add our bacon.
And again, you could use any other protein in there that you wanted if you don't want bacon, or it would be a good leftover bacon if you have, or like I said, I made it with diced ham. That worked really well. Let me just turn this down a bit. We're just gonna wait for the spinach to wilt here and then combine everything.
Once all our spinach is cooked down and our veggies are sauteed, we're going to go ahead and fold it into our egg mix.
So that looks great, very colorful, I love that. So again, I greased the muffin tins, and then I'm just gonna pour that
We're
into
going
the
to
muffin
be pouring
tin.
it into the muffin tin. The egg will, since it's a liquid, disperse first into the tin. So you can use your spatula or a spoon just to kind of get the ingredients incorporated evenly into each one in here. So you don't, if you fill it to the top, it will expand over.
And you're filling those up, not quite to the top, but
You want to give it room to cook, essentially. It will grow.
P2, like if you don't want to do it in the muffin tins, you could also just pour the mixture into a baking dish, right? Maybe like a 8x8, 8x9 baking dish, and then bake it like that and cut that. I know sometimes I will do that. The great thing about this recipe is these will stay in the refrigerator for, you know, up to 5 days, or you can freeze them. I like to make things like this and then I'll freeze them so that when I want to have a balanced breakfast in the morning, I just take one out of the freezer and put it in the microwave, and it's a great, healthy, convenient breakfast.
We've pulled our egg bites out of the oven and they're done. Now what you'll want to do is let it cool just slightly, and to extract them from the muffin tin, if you are having a hard time where they're not coming loose, you can either use a spoon, and if the spoon is not working, you can use a butter knife just to go around the edge, just kind of loosen that up a little bit, and then use your spoon to pop it out.
Great. Well, I love how colorful they are. Again, vegetables in there, so we get some extra points. A great way to start the morning with some protein. Kids would love these. I think you can cut them up. They're a great finger food even for little kids. Something like an egg bite served with a piece of fruit is a balanced breakfast. And that was really our goal today, is to show an idea for a quick, easy, balanced breakfast. So I know, Melinda, you weren't a breakfast eater. Do you think you would eat something like an egg bite like that?
Just by appearance alone, yes, I would. But I did have one question. If I don't have cooking spray available, what else can I use for my muffin tin?
You can use butter or any type of oil. What you'll want to do is soften the butter a little bit, and just you can either use your finger or use the butter stick and just go right around each cup and make sure that you're evenly coating it. And you don't want to overdo it either.
Well, thank you.
And make sure you get in the corners, because see, we
Yes.
did have some
Yes.
that they can stick. So make sure that you are oiling the muffin tin well. I think you could also use those cupcake liners if you
Awesome.
wanted. So that's also another option. So we hope you enjoyed our out of the box, build a better breakfast, egg bite presentation. Again, we love to get pictures, see how your family took this recipe and made it your own, and what you thought. So please send any of that to us, and we look forward to see you again in one of our cooking series. Thank you.